Yes, I can hear you, Hamilton.
Please go ahead.
Program Director, Anya Halapa, the DAAD Director, and the entire DAAD staff members, the members of the jury from academia, industry, and government, PUT staff and students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Warm greetings from Ireland. Today, we are pleased to see that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we can still come together face to face as one community. As we navigate the new normal, we hope that today's event, featuring the best of our people's creativity and innovation, as well as entrepreneurship, can inspire others to dream for a better normal. More importantly, the Falling Walls Lab Pretoria will showcase disruptive innovations addressing the needs of our society and our people. This is especially significant given how the world is becoming increasingly digital in the wake of COVID-19 and the fourth industrial revolution. Falling Walls Lab is a global platform that brings together a diverse and interdisciplinary pool of students, researchers, and early career professionals by giving them opportunity to pitch their solutions. Throughout the year, renowned academic institutions around the world host international Falling Walls Lab to showcase the quality, diversity, and passion for their region's most innovative minds. In 3 minutes each, participants are given the opportunity to present their solutions to some of the most pressing challenges of our time to peers. A high caliber jury of experts from academia, business, and general public. Past presentations have ranged in topics from breaking the wall of coral reefs protection from space to breaking the wall of access to justice. The breakthrough factor, meaning how innovative is the proposed idea. Potential impact of the presented work, meaning how relevant is the idea to the discipline and beyond. And performance, meaning how convincing was the presentation. The winner of the Falling Walls Lab, who qualifies for the global finale in Berlin in November and wins a ticket to attend the Falling Walls Science Summit, where the international lab winners get to interact and network with the world's movers and shakers of science, business, and policy makers. At the global finale, the international lab winners compete to become the breakthrough winner in the emerging talents category of Falling Walls, taking home the title and prize money and receiving the opportunity to pitch their idea once again on the Falling Walls Breakthroughs of the Year stage, which throughout the day hosts leading experts, change makers, and luminaries, including Nobel laureates and Leibniz Prize winners. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2022, the Tshwane University of Technology has partnered with DAAD Information Center Johannesburg, German Academic Exchange Service, as the host of the Falling Walls Lab Pretoria. Today, 14 participants will pitch their solutions in front of the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, program director, allow me to wish all of the best to all of you for today's events. Particular best wishes to our participants, the 14 participants for today. I thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vati Swapapo Zamkaka, for the warm welcome. Without really wasting any more time, we're going to get into the exciting part, actually, of this event, and that is the Peaches section. And I'll introduce Ms. Eden Geleta, who will be running that section for us from DAAD. But before we do that, we've got very important people amongst us, and that is our jury, you know. They are very important in this event, and I would like to introduce them to you. I'm going to start with Ms. Elizabeth Masoleng. She's the chairperson in this regard, an enterprise development associate for the Center for Entrepreneurship Development here at the Tshwane University of Technology. Basanda Pongoma, a business development specialist from the Directorate of Innovation, Technology Transfer and Commercialization from the University of South Africa. I think it's important also for all of us who are here and those who are joining us online, maybe when I call your name, if you could just raise your hand a bit. Is that okay? So I'm going to start again with Ms. Elizabeth Masoleng, who is the chairperson. There she is, morning. And Basanda Pongoma, there he is. And Stephen Parkinson, the head of Training Academy, Thyssen Grump. Am I saying it correctly? Mr. Steven? Okay. And we also have in our midst Michael Christopher Stock, a research assistant, Health Science Dean's Office from the University of Pretoria. Michael, there he is. And Dr. Ute Schweibold, I hope I'm saying it correctly, Senior Lecturer, University of Witwatersrand. There she is. And Dr. Emmanuel Ojo, Senior Lecturer, Chair in Transformation, Internationalization and Partnerships Committee, Faculty of Humanities, University of the Witwatersrand as well. Yes. And we also in our midst have Brian Mpapele, Commercialization Executive, Technology Innovation Agency. A round of applause for our jury. Thank you so much. And to get into the exciting part, as I said earlier on, I'd like to call upon Ms. Eden Geleta from DAAD to moderate that section for us. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you.
Oops, excuse me. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor and privilege for me to be here at the Falling Walls Lab Pretoria. I do not want to take too much of your time, but I do want to also extend a special welcome to our jury members who have joined us today. I think our jury members will be playing a very special role in this event, as they will have the tough job of deciding who will we be sending to the Berlin final and who will be the top 3 in our Falling Walls Lab. And then I'd also like to say a special welcome to all our participants. Thank you all for coming. It's lovely to see all your faces here, and I trust that you're all prepared and that you will be leaving us feeling inspired. And then I'd also like to welcome our guests who have joined us on the special occasion, who have joined us here, and also our guests who are joining us live from the comfort of their own homes or their offices or wherever they are. I would just like to explain how this will be working and do a few housekeeping. So I think it would be great if everybody could maybe switch all their devices and their cell phones to silent mode so that we do not disturb the participants while they are on stage. And then also it would be great if you can refrain from moving in and out for the duration of the pitches, unless it's really necessary. Today is going to be intense but very exciting. As it has been mentioned before, we will be listening to 14 young researchers and innovators who will be having 3 minutes on stage to present their groundbreaking research. And just to explain, when they're on stage, they'll have 3 minutes on the podium. After 2 minutes, 30 seconds, there'll be a time for questions. Since the fate of our participants lie in the hands of the jury members, only they will have the opportunity to ask questions and make remarks. So the jury members each have a card on their table with both a question mark and an exclamation mark. So once they hold that up high, my colleague, Len Alleman, will direct the word to them with a microphone. And then please, jury, remember to keep the questions and comments brief, as there's only 30 seconds to ask and for the participants to give their answer. And then just to note, after the pictures, once that's done, the jury will convene upstairs to deliberate. And during this time, we'll also be having a networking session. And for participants or guests who are interested in the DAAD, what we do, and if you'd like to find out more about study and research opportunities in Germany, you'll have an opportunity to speak to one of the DAAD colleagues. So I think we can get into it without wasting any time further. I hope our captain, as he calls himself, is ready for this event. Yes, he seems very ready. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
It started already. Hello everyone. I'm Aime. I am there to bring the world through the brine wastewater. So the brine wastewater is just the water that contains more salt compared to the ocean water. And then what we need to do here is just to bring the solution so that our middle income farmer can be happy to have clean water for their farming activities. What are we going to do? Once we screen your soil and water, we identify that you have brine wastewater. Then we are going to bring our product here called Afrobacteria, made up with allophilic bacteria. We are going to introduce it in your JoJo tank. The JoJo tank, within 5 minutes, we are going to use that water, and that water will help you for your farming activities. So our Afrobacteria will be able to clean your water, fight poverty, fight hunger, and also bring the clean water. And without forgetting that, it's going to give you a suitable consumption and production. So we don't need people who are going to fund us because we are under incubation. We just need you to come so that we can be the shareholder and also disseminate our product so that our middle income farmer can be happy. So we are looking forward to seeing you at the main campus, Florida, for our exhibition program. Thank you.
What is the innovation behind your Afrobacteria and what evidence do you have for it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. The main point is that we have many methods that we are using to treat brine wastewater. So we have the physical and the chemical. But let me tell you the truth. Afrobacteria made up with allophilic bacteria will be able to consume less energy, and also it will be cheaper because according to the lab scale, we have seen that 100 grams of Afrobacteria that I have here will be able to clean 1,000 liters of your brine wastewater. So it is very easy and useful for any middle income farmer in South Africa, even overseas, where we are facing the same problem to use that product. Thank you.
Thank you. Breaking the wall of automotive pollution. Lufuno Utembu from the Tshwane University of Technology.
So my problem is emissions from the internal combustion engine of every car or any train. And automotive world. And then the second problem, it's a two-part problem thing, would be the electric car problem, which it also pollutes, it also causes air pollution, but indirectly, since they still use electricity off the grid of coal. Now, the solution for the internal combustion engine would be a chemical-based solution. Now, this is an enzyme mixed with a chemical compound added in the final process of petroleum refining, and it's added in a ratio of 1:100. Now, this ratio will ensure that during the combustion, once added, and the combustion process begins in the car, the compound will be inactive, and then the only change that happens is the phase change of the compound from a liquid to a gaseous state, where it will finally be active in the catalytic converter, where there's the presence of palladium, rhodium, and platinum. This will then ensure that it eliminates the excess carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide in the internal combustion process as we know it at this very moment. Now, this will convert those harmful gases into oxocarbons, and also ideally it should convert it into a synthetic form of chlorophyll, as I intend on using a solute of magnesium to actually convert the waste gases into a certain synthetic form of chlorophyll. Now, the second part of it is actually a continuous kinetic energy recovery system. Now, this is used mostly in racing, and the example can also be seen when towing an electric car. It's called regenerative braking. Now, this is a process whereby kinetic energy from a wheel is actually converted into electricity. This can allow you to regain up to 25% of the electricity that you have used in an electric car using a single motor. So this can extend a range from 300 kilometers to about...
Questions?
First of all, great pitch, thank you. One question I wanted to ask, so you mentioned that you use an enzyme and a chemical to remove the carbon monoxide. How much does that cost? Is it going to be financially viable in a low and middle income country like South Africa? Thank you.
All right. In terms of financial viability, I cannot say at the moment, as you need to find a process to actually extract the enzyme.
Thank you, Lufuno. Breaking the wall of brain fog, Kathleen Boshoff from the University of Pretoria.
You are about to do an important presentation. You open your mouth to speak, but you realize you cannot remember even the simplest of words. Normally you would panic in such a situation, but despite having slept well the night before, you just don't have the energy to feel anything. This is the life of someone with brain fog. Brain fog, or if you're trying to impress your date, cognitive dysfunction, is a symptom of many chronic conditions. It impedes an individual's ability to think, learn, and react. Brain fog is very debilitating in terms of quality of life, yet there are no working treatments currently available. My proposed solution is to repurpose a drug class used to treat type 2 diabetes called gliptins. Gliptins inhibit an enzyme called DPP4. It was found in diabetics with comorbid depression who were being treated with gliptins that their depressive symptoms decreased. This was because the receptors for gliptins are found in the brain as well as the gut, Around this time, a lot of research was taking place in inflammation and chronic diseases. The following is noted. DPP4 plays a very big role in inflammatory processes. Inflammation is present in almost all states of brain fog. Inflammation and abnormal DPP4 levels are found in almost every chronic condition, ranging from hypertension to depression. This makes DPP4 a very attractive drug target. Thank you for your time.
Questions, Julie?
Thank you, Kathleen. I just have one question. So DPP4, is that being clinically shown to do what you say in terms of inflammation and brain fog, or does it still need to be tested?
Shown to reduce inflammation, but it has never been used specifically for brain fog.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Morning. Traditional teaching is being a problem that I've been facing since we become lecturers in TUT, whereby we teach students within the four walls, and when COVID comes, then it shows us flames that students can learn not between the four walls, meaning mixing blended learning as well as what we call formal learning as well as informal learning. So that is my problem. So breaking the walls of computer labs as well as classes is using what we call VR, visual reality, whereby a lecturer can be alone in the lab, but about 700 or more than 700 students are logged in, and they look like they're in the same class, but they are in a different location. So that is the method that we can use, especially for theory as well as for practical classes. For example, when we do workshops where students do what we call electrical engineering as well as mechanical and so on, you find that during COVID, lecturers were unable to teach those particular students. Why? Because they have to do it practical in the labs. So using visual reality, that's when lecturers will be in a workshop or in a class or in the computer lab, whereby they will explain the task when our other students are logged in to check information which the lecturer is presenting. So now that particular method, after teaching, you can download it and put it on the D2L or Brightspace, whereby the students will be able to go through those particular tasks practically and mimic what the lecturers have done in class. So visual reality plays a vital role. Why? Because even if the students are in a different location, it looks like they're in the same class because they can ask questions, a lecturer can interact with the students wherever they are, and so on. So the equipment for installing in the labs as well as in the classes, it is very expensive, but it will boost what you call the morale of the students.
Thanks, Dr. Tshwane. It's Brian here. Has this been tried elsewhere before? Is it new to the world? Is it new to South Africa?
In South Africa, it is new, but around the world it's been tested. And practically, most of the students, especially when they go through those particular training and so on, it boosts what you call pass rate of a particular faculty or department.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Good morning. Growing up, my aunt understood my mental health and she helped me to address my personal problems. I believe that this enabled me to become a resilient person. Many South African youth are not as fortunate. Black South African parents and their children often do not have the same understanding of mental health. This is why my research intends to bridge the intergenerational gap in mental health within Black communities. Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among 15 to 19-year-olds globally. In South Africa, 9% of youth deaths are due to suicide, which is linked to depression and anxiety. Against this statistical reality, Black youth have been tweeting that inviting their parents to psychotherapy can lead to being mocked. For example, one person tweeted, I came back from the psychiatric ward and my mom said, "Don't use your braids to hang yourself." Another person said, "I was taking antidepressant medication and my dad said, maybe she's depressed by the war in Syria." These tweets highlight what is reported in scholarly research. So it's not just people tweeting their experiences on Twitter, but what we learn from scholarly research is the same. It is clear that Black parents and their youth have different levels of mental health literacy. This means that they view and attend to mental health differently. And this can be mainly attributed to low levels of parental mental health literacy. My solution is to break the wall of intergenerational gaps in mental well-being by increasing parental mental health literacy. This will eventually lead to the decrease of anxiety and depression through early identification, early intervention, and the possible curbing of irreversible consequences of suicide. My project will focus on a culturally responsive online video series on mental health, which will be recorded in South African languages. It will discuss the cultural perceptions that we often have around mental health. It will address the stigma that is prevalent in mental health within Black communities. And importantly, it will provide parents with some discussion questions they can use to talk about mental health with their youth. With the initial cost of 75,000 rand to the researcher, not the community, this program will reach multiple South African families, parents, and their youth. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc. What is the literacy levels of those who are affected, and how do you plan to overcome that?
Thank you for the question. The literacy of those who are affected is a little bit higher than their parents because the youth tend to talk about mental health, the current youth, the Z generation, and as
Breaking the wall of break failures. Oluwatoyin Joseph Badeyan from the DUT.
Brake pad is the critical part of a vehicle that controls the acceleration and keeping your vehicle stationary when it's parked. This material must fulfill more than 15 properties of braking system before they can perform their functions. Due to this, several materials and combination of materials have been used to produce brake pad. However, these materials have inherent properties, making the brake pad have different property over each one another. Due to that, despite rigorous improvement in brake pad material development and technology, was such as long stopping distances, poor wear resistance, poor heat dissipation, noise from the brake that linked to brake failure still persist, and this wall must fall. According to the Department of Transportation, brake failure contributes high percentage of road accident yearly, and we will have to get to the end of this. In this regards, black composite brake pad is developed. These materials was developed and investigated on laboratory scale, and it was compared with existing ceramic-made brake pad, and it was discovered that it has thermostability that is within the temperature for working temperature for brake pad. Also have sound heat energy absorption property. Also, it has better heat dissipation that leads to far cooling rate. Also, it has improved mechanical properties that is related to wear rate. This material was developed
to meet the target of, primarily to meet the target of automobile, and also, secondly, to meet the target of railway, most especially wagon vehicles. Also, mass production of this material will help us in achieving their SDG goals 8 by this material, the raw material for producing this material is readily available, and the mass production of this material will create jobs, and it will help us to grow our economy substantially. Thank you.
Questions?
Thanks, Joe. Brian here. I see you're part of DAAD.
Yes.
Have you patented this? If not, why?
It has been filed for patent.
Any further questions? Thank you so much.
Oh, I still have some time. According to the global market, it is good 2028. The market, the break market, will be $1 billion. And South Africa will have 552 million stock loss. Developers still needed. So I am coming. Good number, thank you.
Breaking the role of acid mine drainage. Tamlin Session from the University of the Witwatersrand.
This is a stream of acid mine drainage produced continually from a site in Mpumalanga, South Africa. The mine from which this emanates has effectively closed, so there's no way to treat this contaminated water, so they store it in a dam. The dam was built before regulations, so it's not lined, and this water is continually seeping into groundwater, which provides other areas. To make matters worse, across the road from this dam is a farm which suffers millions of rands in crop and cattle loss due to poisoning every year when this dam overflows. And this is only one site in over 1,000 in South Africa alone. And this problem is not endemic to our country. The widespread and damaging effects of acid mine drainage has caused the United Nations to classify this as the second largest environmental problem facing the Earth, bested only by global warming. What is strongly needed in this context is a cost-effective method for treating this acid mine drainage that makes treatment more feasible and improves clean water access for all. And that's where research like this comes in. My team and I are aiming to treat acid mine drainage using only waste materials, and at the same time producing clean water and allowing cleaner access to all. The first waste material that we use is slag. This is a waste material from the steel industry, and it contains high amounts of alkalinity that can neutralize the pH in the stream. This also allows contaminants in the stream to join together, solidify, and be removed from the stream. On the flip side, if we use acid to treat the slag, this removes the hydroxides, which means we can then sell this slag as a valuable product in construction. After that, we use sugarcane bagasse as a substrate for bacteria, which can further reduce the iron and the sulfate content of the stream. If we use these two waste products and add them to acid mine drainage, we can take the water from this to this, and then to this. A stream that is safe enough to use for irrigation purposes with many elements well below drinking water limitations. This is a very, and this is the stream that we want to see emanating from our mines. If we can do this in a lab, we hope to be able to transform sites like this back to their original glory.
Questions?
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, thank you very much. Nice presentation. Just a quick question. Have you thought of any additional environmental impacts that are caused by your solution, maybe?
Yes, all of our outputs either add value, so we generate an income from them, even from the sugarcane bagasse, or it can be used safely, like the stream, to water plants or grow plants even. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Naidu. Breaking the wall of drought using sunlight.
Thank you so much. If now you were to go to your Twitter, your Facebook, or your news, you will see that South Africa is a drought-scarce country. You will see that each and every community has a lack of water. You will see that each and every community currently in South Africa does not have clean drinking water or even taps, to say. As you can see, the risks are very high. Number one, people run a risk of being attacked by wild animals while collecting water from the river. Number two, they don't spend quality time with their family members, which then affects the young ones. Number three, it's to avoid certain things like sicknesses and diseases. So now just realized and found out that a most recent studies that from 2018 until 2020, South Africa has been a drought country. So the solution that I'm proposing is a solar still. This is an alternative water technology that is dependent on sunlight. The reason why it's dependent on sunlight is because South Africa receives more than 2,500 hours of sunlight. So imagine us recycling water that is from the river into a solar still. So that can be a great initiative to our communities. The solution again is that it contributes to the economy. We use less affordable materials here. There are different types of materials that you can use, but for this one, we're starting off with the readily available materials. As you can see there on the Sustainable Development Goals, this research reaches a lot of goals, such as goal number 3 that ensures healthy lives. And then when you look at the Agenda 2063, it also achieves goal number 3, which is healthy and well nourished citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Thanks, Timena. My question is that how much will it cost for this unit? How many liters can it clean?
The area that you are at.
Thank you, Mr. Tapo.
Instant water purification system that can be connected to a storage tank or your tap. It consists of a number of filters, including a UV light. So unlike other water purification systems that rely on electricity, we decided to get creative and using electronics PCB boards. It also comes standard with a smart metering solution, allowing the user to remotely monitor their water usage online. Our market segment is as follows. We have disadvantaged communities and low-incomers who will receive assistance from companies doing corporate social responsibility. And we have middle-class and high-earning incomers and small businesses who will receive different payment options. And the costs are as follows. We have 3,000 rands for 1 purity pipe, 2,000 rand for material, and 1,000 rand profit. Thank you.
For this, how scalable is this over time?
Sorry?
How scalable? Can you easily scale it up and produce mass production?
Yes, we can produce mass production.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say, so you said you're using a UV light, correct?
Yes.
So UV light would more so target pathogens such as bacteria and those type of things. What about heavy metals and other pollutants in the water? What does your system actually do that as well?
We have carbon filters for that and polishing filters.
Okay, cool, thank you.
No further questions? Is there anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, thank you so much. Breaking the wall of blockchain internet adoption. Disciple Sambo from the Wits University.
Thank you very much. In South Africa, we are experiencing 3 major things happening, and in Africa as a whole. So firstly, only 30% of businesses within South Africa have a website. This is actually a crisis, being the world that we're actually going into, is that everything is being digital and the world is changing ever increasingly, especially now during the COVID era. Secondly, we're quickly becoming a digital society, and worldwide, one of the biggest things that is happening, one of the biggest digital transformations that is happening right now is that our money is becoming digital. And with this, with South Africa, previously in Africa as a whole, our money was physical, and now it's changing into a digital format. So we have, with this, many businesses within South Africa actually do not have an online payment system in order to receive digital currency. So if we're going to be Africa be ready for this new advent. So with this, we are breaking the wall of blockchain internet adoption. With this, I will introduce KeyPay, where you can send and receive online digital payments using blockchain technology. This is an easy-to-use download and install plugin. We also offer optional website creation for businesses, all businesses within South Africa. Our main intent is to promote businesses within South Africa and to get them onto the digital platform that is happening at the moment. Thirdly, after that, once a business sets up the KeyPay on their website, they will be able to accept online payments instantly. This has provided so much value, and South Africa needs to be prepared, especially as Africa as a whole. South Africa, as well as places like in Kenya, they use traditional methods like M-Pesa to actually transfer money between one another. So what I do believe is that South Africa and Africa as a whole is fully prepared for this digital revolution that is going to happen. So we also build a lot of other blockchain solutions. This is mainly one of them. I originate from Tshwane Innovation Precinct in Wits University. And with this, we continue to build blockchain technology to change the future of Africa and South Africa as a whole. Thank you.
Questions from our jury members or remarks?
Thanks, Lesego. Have you thought about cybersecurity, given that a lot of online fraud is happening? Thank you.
Yes. Cybersecurity is always a main focus within the computer science space. And with blockchain, it being a new technology, cybersecurity also has to have a lot of focus within it. But because it is a new technology, there's a lot of developers that are coming into the space that are enhancing the cybersecurity around it. And this is something that continues to evolve as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Breaking the wall of soil health assessments. Imogen Mamabolo from Stellenbosch University.
In the midst of many uncertainties we're living under, I believe we can all agree that achieving sustainability is the major global concern confronting every sector, including agriculture. In agriculture, this is what we're dealing with. For the longest time, intensive practices have contributed immensely to degrading natural resources, which led to pollution. Fortunately enough, Quest to achieve sustainability came up with adoption of regenerative practices as sustainable alternative. This is encouraging in a way, but the major question is, are these systems working, and how can we actually measure their sustainability? Well, the answer lies in the soil. Although to some of us soil is just dirt or a simple medium we trample upon, it is in fact a living system and a foundation of every wall that is being broken here today. According to the United Nations, healthy soils are not only key to feed the world by 2050, but also an indicator of sustainability. In South Africa, however, there's currently no clear assessment of soil health, and farmers are still searching for reliable measures. I will be breaking this wall by developing an integrated soil health assessment tool which integrates soil biological, chemical, and physical properties. Using sequences of multivariate techniques and modeling them into a single soil health tool, which is in a form of an index. Now, this index will be inexpensive and measurable even by non-experts who lack expertise and laboratories. The application of this technology can be used by farmers to measure the efficacy of their soil health management methods. In this way, they can be prevented from investing in practices that do not improve soil health and productivity. This is most important for resource-limited farmers who lack income or revenue to purchase the expensive soil health test. Policy can also use this technology to make sustainable development planning to safeguard food security. Unlike the usual soil tests, which are expensive and costly, this index is user-friendly. Ladies and gentlemen, the world of soil health is bigger than us, and our lives depend on it. So by breaking it, we can ensure a sustainable future with benefits for both the economy and the environment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick one, ma'am. Have you spoken to the farmers, and if you did, what did they say?
They are very interested because farmers now are doing their own research, so they are searching for these new technologies. So all we need to do is gather the data and do the technology transfer to them.
Good morning. What is the cost of this assessment tool?
The cost depends on the minimum data set. Thank you.
Breaking the Wall of Gender-Based Violence, Magwane Neotobejane from the University of Johannesburg.
Gender-based violence involves the act of violence that is committed against women, men, boys or girls as a result of social norm roles or behavior expected at each gender. South Africa is said to have the highest rate of gender-based violence in the world, including rape and domestic violence. Between 25% and 40% of South African women have experienced sexual and intimate partner violence. Gender-based violence rate has been on the rise since lockdown was implemented last year. Lockdown measures meant that victims of gender-based violence could not escape abusive partners to seek protection. From generation to generation, gender-based violence has always been there, but ignored in the name of bekezela, which means to hold on. Freedom fighters came forward and brought a democratic nation, giving victims of gender-based violence a platform to raise their voices. But gender-based violence is still a problem, and now a pandemic. There are still people who are not well informed with regards to gender-based violence. There are still people who do not know how to react in situations of gender-based violence, especially children. And I feel like as children, we are not taught enough about gender-based violence. Mental health refers to cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being of a person. It's all about how a person feels, thinks, and behaves. The mental health of victims is often not considered. Hence the question, why did he or she stay, is always asked. But victims of gender-based violence experience Stockholm Syndrome, which is when victims have a warm feeling of trust towards their abusers. So considering on how we are into the new era, the fourth industrial revolution, I came up with a concept which I call the GBV Navigator. It will be a robotic-like structure which will have everything you need to know about gender-based violence, from prevention methods, the theory behind gender-based violence, survival tips, and most importantly, mental health care tips. So victims will now have a chance to learn about gender-based violence, get mental health care tips, and also confide in it through a system which will function hand in hand with police officers. There are so many victims of gender-based violence in our country. Uyinene, Namhla, and Zolile. The list could go on. I can go on the whole day reading about the list. Let's break the intergenerational cycle of violence to an intergenerational cycle of caregiving. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is...
Are there any questions?
Have you piloted this? And if yes, what was the feedback you got?
I haven't developed the product yet, but I tried going around my school last year asking people their views on gender-based violence, and it showed me that there are still people who are not aware of what it is and how to react.
Thank you so much, Ms. Leo. Breaking
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine a material so versatile and visionary, it can break the rigid walls of the biomedical health industry. The biomedical health industry comprises of professionals from the veterinary and the medical industry. These professionals battle pathogens every day to save the lives of their human and their animal patients, whilst also protecting themselves. The problem lies with the biomedical healthcare and hygiene products that are being used. Research has shown that these have low efficacy against most pathogens, they have a short lifespan because they are non-reusable, and they pose environmental issues because of the synthetic material that is used in their creation. Recently introduced plant-based cellulose and fiber composites have been shown to be unsustainable and expensive. This is mostly because of the plant that is selected during the farming and the harvesting. Furthermore, the chemicals that are infused into these chemicals to battle the pathogens have been found to have environmental issues. Additionally, these cellulose composites have only been introduced in the medical and not the veterinary industry. Continue. So what is then our solution? Well, we are creating a plant-based fiber composite with materials that is infused with naturally occurring phytochemicals. And this will have wider applications in the veterinary and the medical field. Now, how will then this material help solve our issues? Firstly, it has been proven that plant-based chemicals have high efficacy against emerging and resistant pathogens. Secondly, plant-based materials are an environmentally friendly alternative because they're reusable and they're biodegradable. And lastly, we will be selecting invasive plant species with naturally occurring pharmaceutical properties, and therefore we will be investing in sustainable harvesting. So, we need 36,500 rand at least to move from stage A to stage B of our prototype. And this is mostly for the use of the mechanical labs to create our fiber composite, as well as to produce and test the nanomaterial that we are going to infuse into our material. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we will be breaking down the wall of the biomedical industry. Thank you.
Questions from our jury members?
Thank you for your presentation. So, if I'm getting you correct, you will be using phytochemicals from plants as antimicrobials and antiparasitic agents. What is your plant material going to be used for? I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be used for.
So there are two aspects to the prototype. There is the nanomaterial, the phytochemicals, and then the fiber. And the fiber is also derived from plants. So the fiber is to create the fabric itself. So, and that is also going to be in two parts.
Thank you, Ms. Mulaka.
Thank you.
Breaking the wall of COVID-19 transmission, Shadrach Imani from the Tshwane University of Technology.
Good morning. It's been more than 2 years since the world experienced the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was during the lockdown that my friend and I decided to conduct some research and see what could be our contribution to our society in dealing with the pandemic. As a result of that, we came up with this amazing idea to develop a disinfectant and pest control robot. So while the video is playing, I'll be taking you I'll give you an overview on how this robot works. So this robot uses the UV light to disinfect your rooms in hospitals, schools, and even your home. 360-degree coverage that refers to the UV light, it's able to disinfect the entire surface around the robot. Obstacle detection, so we've added the ultrasonic sensors. So while the robot is being in operation, it is able to detect any obstacle around. That could be a chair or a table. So automatically, the robot is able to avoid any accidents. Motion detection. Once again, the UV light can be so harmful to the human being. So once you come across it, it can affect your eyes or even your skin. So what we did, we added the PIR sensors whereby while the robot is being in operation, if by mistake someone comes inside the room, the robot automatically is able to shut off. And once the person goes away, the robot can continue with the normal operation. Software and sensor-based, and finally, pest control. So that's I believe that's the most innovative aspect of this robot. It is able as well to perform the pest control processes. So the robot is equipped with a tank or a reservoir where you can put the chemicals, and the reservoir is connected to the, can you play the video again? The reservoir is connected to the robot's arm, and the robot's arm is able to facilitate the spraying process. So this is kind of a two-in-one machine, able to kill both viruses as well as the insects in the house. So that's how innovative it is, and we believe that with this machine, we can save lives by reducing the infection rate of the COVID-19 transmission. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shatra. Quick one. Is your innovation in the components or is it in the systems integration, or both?
First of all, it is innovative. First of all, the flexibility. Because it is able to kill both viruses and conduct the pest control processes as well. So that's how innovative it is. So the system, as well as the safety system that we've added to these robots, that's how innovative it is as well. And the software as well, because we say that it's using a software. The software as well is so innovative compared to what you can find in the market.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think that was the last presenter, so I will hand back to our program director.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all our presenters and the wonderful pitches. A round of applause to all of them, please. And a round of applause to Aiden Galetta for handling that very well. Thank you very much. Now we'll have a session where an DAAD information session. But while we're going through that, the jury will take a break from all of us here and deliberate on the pitches presented today. So all the best to all the presenters, but the fact that you're here, I believe that you're all winners, and we must emphasize that very much. And we enjoyed all the presentations, and you must pat yourself in the back, really, for being part, literally, for being part of this competition. So thank you very much, and a round of applause once again to you. So the jury, are you going to exit the auditorium while we have that DAAD information session?
Hello, hello. Okay, yes. Let me just introduce you to one of my great DAAD colleagues, Mrs. Khonse Schultz. So, as I mentioned before, for anyone interested in finding out who the DAAD is, what we do, and special opportunities to either study and do your research abroad, there's also multiple opportunities for within the country and on the continent. This is the lady you can go to. So I'd just like to introduce her. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself, maybe? Yes? Thank you, Ms. Khonse. Thank you.
Is it afternoon already? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It was very exciting to listen to all the presentations. I'm excited to see who's going to be the winner. Like my colleague said, Eden, my name is Khonse, and I'm the information officer at the DAAD Information Center in Johannesburg. So basically, I give advice to people that are interested in studying or pursuing research in Germany. So if you're interested, we've got a few videos that we prepared yesterday that we can run just to give you an overview of the German higher education system, a few reasons maybe why you could consider Germany as your next research destination, because I saw most of you are already associated with universities. So I'm not sure if you guys are studying at the moment or if you're working. But like Eden says, there are opportunities for both study and research. Work opportunities as well for those that are looking. And I saw most of you also spoke about projects that you'd like to develop. And you know, Germany is really big on innovation and that stuff. So there's also those opportunities. But as the DAAD, we do not work too much with work-related stuff and the development of products, but we can connect you with information to the organizations that work with such stuff. So you come to the DAAD if you want to do study or if you want to research in Germany. And if you want to do anything else in Germany, we work with German organizations in South Africa and we can give you the information. So here I am, if you would like to know anything about study and research in Germany. Thank you.
Many young people from all over the world choose to study in Germany. Look at the German higher education system. In Germany, it's possible to study just about anything. There are over 18,000 different courses, including more than 1,800 international programs, most of which are conducted in English. With such a large range on offer, everybody finds their chosen subject. Also, when it comes to choosing a university or college, you have many options. There are around 400 state-accredited higher education institutions at around 180 different locations. Universities are strongly research-oriented and offer the widest range of subjects. They teach both theoretical knowledge and methodological expertise. Universities of applied sciences concentrate on the application of scientific knowledge and primarily teach professional practice. The range of subjects is focused on areas such as technology, business, social affairs, and media. Colleges of art and music train budding artists, musicians, directors, actors, and designers. Special artistic talent must be displayed in an entrance examination for these courses. A small number of courses are also offered at other specialized institutes. In Germany, there are public and private higher education institutions. More than 90% of students are enrolled in state-run universities and colleges. With such a vast choice, you're bound to find the course that's right for you. Let's talk about the various degree options. You can do a bachelor's degree, a master's, or gain a doctorate. In certain subjects, there are also other degrees, such as the Staatsexamen. However you decide, a degree from a German higher education institution will increase your chances for the future. The cost of living in Germany is moderate compared with other countries around the world, and there are no tuition fees at most higher education institutions. In Germany, you receive first-class education with degrees that are recognized worldwide, and you are also offered excellent support. Ideal conditions for studying a course that furthers your career, whether in your home country or in Germany. So, what are you waiting for? Discover your international side. Study in Germany.
Hallo. research abroad as a PhD student, postdoc, or senior researcher? Have you ever thought about Germany? Germany is very cosmopolitan and diverse, and it welcomes international scientists with easy entry and residence regulations. Also, English is the team language at many research facilities, so it is not surprising that so many international academics work in German higher education and the R&D sector. As one of the leading research nations in the world with a unique research landscape, Germany has a lot to offer. Excellent universities, internationally renowned research institutes, and a research-strong industry. How is this possible? With appropriate investment in the scientific system, Germany is one of the countries that spend most on research and development worldwide. That's all pretty impressive, but what does that mean for you? The excellent research environment allows you to develop freely and creatively, and to gain easy access to equipment, libraries, and large-scale research devices. You can collaborate with others across disciplines and institutions, and network internationally. This is an excellent way to start your research career or to sharpen your profile. There is one thing you should keep in mind: the German Act on Temporary Scientific Contracts, which affects publicly funded research. It states that scientists may be employed for a maximum of 12 years in qualifying positions. Take a close look at your contract and talk to your institution about the time limit and your prospects. In terms of financing your research, there are lots of funding programs that are specifically tailored to your needs. What else? Germany is located in the heart of Europe. As a researcher, you can easily travel to other EU countries and work on your project. It is a stable democracy, one of the safest and freest countries in the world, and a place where you and your family can enjoy life. Contact us for more information via our website or on social media. What are you waiting for?
sorry, I don't have my mouse. Do you know the DAAD? No. Can I tell you a bit about the DAAD though?
Yeah, because
I'm going to check the market. Okay, so far information. It will add something. Which bed is S? Okay. Hello. I'm back. While we wait for the jury to deliberate, I'm going to go through one of our presentations that we normally do at info sessions. And the people that I've spoken to now have said that they don't know, or the majority don't know the DAAD. The others have heard about it. So I'm going to go through the short it's not short, it's actually quite long, but I'm going to rush through certain things and get to the exciting parts. So the DAAD is the world's largest funding organization of its kind in the world. So the DAAD funds international students and researchers. Our main focus at the DAAD is internationalization of higher education. So that means not only in Germany, but also abroad. So our head office is in Germany. We've got an office in Bonn. The other office is in Berlin. And we've got more than 60 offices all over the world. So basically, in every corner of the world, you will find a DAAD office. And so as the DAAD Information Center in Johannesburg, we are part of the DAAD network. And it means the head office relies on this network to inform them about the landscape in our respective countries. So the DAAD Information Center in Johannesburg is responsible for Southern Africa. In Africa, we've got other offices as well, but you will see as I go along and speak. The DAAD is a non-governmental organization, and it's like the middleman between the universities and like the international universities, so German universities and us, and we represent the public German institutions. Of course, in Germany, it's not just public institutions that are there. They also have private institutions, but the DAAD's focus is mainly on the public institutions' interests. The DAAD, like anything else, we have a strategy that we're working towards, and we have the DAAD Strategy 2025, and you can see the top 3 that are on that strategy. The first one is to promote excellence and broaden perspectives of education and science through international exchange. So we promote academic mobility, so between Germany and other countries. So in our case, as the Information Center in Johannesburg, it's between Germany and South Africa. And like I said, we focus on the internationalization of higher education in Germany and abroad. So they also understand that expertise that I told you about earlier, that they rely on us as local staff to inform them about what's happening in our respective countries. You will see with some of the programs that we have that they are tailor-made for the South African community. And then they enhance international collaboration for the benefit of science and industry. And, you know, with this Falling Walls Lab, it's also one of those ways that we're enhancing that thing. So we're not just saying academics that you need to go study, but there's other ways that scientists and researchers can collaborate, and Falling Walls Lab also presents that kind of platform and opportunity to allow for collaboration and networking opportunities. On the map, you can see the presence that the DAAD has all over the world. And you can see in Africa, we've got offices in the southern part, we've got offices in East Africa. In Kenya, there's an office there. In West Africa, we've got offices in Cameroon and in Ghana. We've got an office in Tunisia. We've got an office in Egypt as well. So the DAAD is well represented in Africa as well, in all parts of Africa. And even though the DAAD Information Center Johannesburg office is the only office in the southern part of Africa, it does not mean that we only offer guidance to South Africans. We offer guidance to anyone that deems our office as the closest office to them. So we're open to offer assistance, and I noted today there are people from other African countries. So if there's things that we cannot assist you on, we see our network, so we can always connect you to our colleagues if they are able to assist you further in that regard. So our expertise mainly is on the South African higher education or South African education landscape. DAAD funding, you can see that we don't only fund people from the STEM field. On this graphic, you can see how many people were funded from the different fields of studies. So it's quite a broad range of studies that are being funded, and contrary to popular belief, not just the sciences. As you can see at the bottom, we've got language and cultural studies. We also have funds for people that are in the arts, architecture, film as well. So this is just an indication of how many people have been funded in 2020, like the different fields of studies. The number of recipients that have been funded since the DAAD was established more than 50 years ago, it's over 1,090,000 people that have been funded from abroad. So remember, I told you that the DAAD is promoting academic mobility. So it means there's funds available for people from abroad to come and study in Germany. But there's also funds available for Germans to come and study in South Africa or to do academic stuff in South Africa. For example, one of our colleagues here is from Germany, and she's an assistant lecturer at the University of the Witwatersrand in the German language department.
Can we add 14 more people onto there as well?
Yes, definitely. You know, 14 more people that would be interested. I'd be so happy. Because, we go to info sessions and we present, and we've got these awesome programs that we're offering at the DAAD. But, our fellow South African people don't like to travel. So no one is grabbing this opportunity. So I'm happy that you encouraging your fellow participants that they also consider this. The budget that we get, I said it's an NGO, so you can see the source of the funds that we have at the DAAD there. So we are financed by the federal ministries, the different federal ministries in Germany. Most of our funding comes from the federal office. And you can see that the budget for 2020 was quite big. And as the years progress, you will see on this diagram that it's on a steady increase each year. So it's not like it's going down anytime soon. So the funds are there. I encourage you to apply for them. Because the problem, you know what the problem with the funds is? If funds are allocated, or if these great programs are then created for the South Africans and we don't apply for them, it seems like there's no need for them. And then this funds is going to be allocated elsewhere. So to avoid that, guys, please look at the programs that we have and contact us, and then we can guide you on what could be suitable for you. So the DAAD is a great company to work for. So I enjoy working at the DAAD because of their perception on things and how they are inclusive and encourage people that are previously marginalized as well. So you can see that in 2020, their funding more than half of the DAAD's funding was allocated to women. So people that were previously, we encourage women to continue studying. And our programs, you will see, they're not that many limitations in terms of age, because we also encourage lifelong learning. So as a person in the education side, I'm very excited about stuff like that. And people living with disabilities as well, they're encouraged to apply for our programs as well. And you'll see we've got awesome stuff, benefits additional to that. So we're really encouraging people to apply. Very, very inclusive. Studying in Germany, most of you here are already graduates. But like I said, lifelong learning. So we don't stop. So maybe this information might not be exciting for you, but maybe you know people that might be interested in studying in Germany. We say Germany is the land of ideas. As you can see from the map, it is centrally located. I spoke earlier about network and the importance of networking. So you can use Germany as like your gateway, in fact, to Europe. So while you're in Germany, you can use that time to visit the neighboring countries as well, establish your contacts there, expand your research, see what the other countries are doing as well while you're in Germany. Of course, I see there's climate, you know, there's no weather that beats South African weather, but there's a small price to pay considering the environment in which you're going to be. So you'll have access to top of the class labs that you can use. It's a very international community there, not just the student environment, but also the academic staff in the universities. So you'll be immersed in this international environment. You'll make friends from other countries. That's also expanding your network, because when you all go back to your respective countries, then we're in the middle of the lockdown and now you're trying to maybe host a webinar session and like, oh, but I've got a friend in Brazil. And you know, lockdown has shown us that you don't physically have to travel to places to get engaged in international spaces. So it's an opportunity to network. Institutions of higher education in Germany. So in South Africa, when you speak of institutions of higher education, that also includes TVET colleges. At the DAAD, when we speak about institutions of higher education, the focus is on universities. So if you're interested in vocational training and like programs in that line, then you would contact the South African German Chamber of Commerce. So the AHK, they're the ones that are more focused on vocational training, so not the DAAD. And we also don't speak about learnerships, but if you're interested in pursuing a bachelor program, master, PhD, postdoc fellowship, then you come to the DAAD. So in Germany, you can enroll for a bachelor program, master program, PhD, and of course the other programs that are in the vocational training space. But today, with the DAAD, we're only focusing on or limiting the discussion to the university's space. So you can do a bachelor program. So like I said, our expertise as the Johannesburg office is on the South African education system. So I can tell you as a South African that with your matric leaving certificate that would allow you to pursue a bachelor program in South Africa, you would be able to do your bachelor program. But there are other things to consider. So for example, you need to look at which subjects you would have done. So maths, literacy, for example, is not considered. And in Germany, they also don't have accounting sciences like as a school subject, so that also doesn't count. We offer virtual consultations and in-person consultations. So to look at each individual specific case, we can always arrange a meeting where we can advise you further on that stuff. But just so you know that with the school living certificate in general, that would allow you to pursue a bachelor program here, you'd be able to enter. And we know that we have, like in other countries, they don't all, follow the same, like the school leaving certificate is not the same in all African countries. So unfortunately, I will not be able to advise you on that, but I can give you a link for people that didn't complete their high school in South Africa, give you a link that you can check with the school leaving certificate that you have, whether you would be admitted to a particular program or not. So we've got lots of databases and links. So if we can help you ourselves, we can always link you or send you information where you can explore for yourself further. So you can apply for a bachelor program, but most of the bachelor programs in Germany, the medium of instruction is then German. So if you're going to do a study program that is, do not despair. There are quite a few English medium study programs that are available at bachelor level, but they're not that many. They're not as many as in the master's programs or PhD opportunities. So in master's and PhD, there's quite a lot of opportunities available for people that want to pursue their studies or research in English. So the bachelor program you can do, and if you want to do your master's and you would have done your bachelor program in South Africa, our bachelor programs are either 3 years long, so the duration of study is either 3 years or 4 years. Ne? So if your program, the duration of study was 4 years, then you can apply for a master program in Germany. So you don't need to do an honors first to do your master. But if your study program was 3 years long, then you need to do an honors year first before you can apply for a master in Germany. Yeah, so the master programs, there's quite a lot, and I think we've got marketing material here with us where we can hand out or you can take afterwards with all these links of where to find certain things. Great. So, yeah, and then the master programs in Germany, they're between 1 and 2 years. So it will depend on the specific program that you would have chosen. You would need to look at, how long it's going to be. And, the master programs and the PhD is between 3 and 4 years. And there's scholarship available for master and PhD. So the scholarships that are offered at the DAAD are only for postgraduate studies. So, like I said, in South Africa, honors is considered as postgraduate studies, but at the DAAD, we do not consider it as postgraduate studies. So that means when we say postgraduate studies at the DAAD, it means from master's level. So our funding is only from master's level. Now we get to the exciting part with the scholarship programs that we have at the DAAD. So at the DAAD, we don't only speak about the funding that's offered by the DAAD, we speak about funding that's also offered by other funding organizations or German institutions. So if you're looking for funding to pursue research or to study in Germany, then you go to the fundingguide.de. So that's a database. So you can filter your search according to your specific needs. Ne? Which level of study are you in? Which field of study do you want to pursue? And so on. And then it'll give you the available options. And then you can also go on our website, daad.org.za. And there you will also see scholarships that, like the major scholarships that are offered to South Africans. So if you go to the funding guide, it's the general guidelines, but if you go specifically to our website, we have selected programs that that South Africans are eligible to apply for. So that would be appealing to the South African or Southern African nationals. And then the value of the scholarship. With the scholarship, you get, one thing I didn't mention, with the institutions in Germany, if you study there, they are mainly tuition-free, so the public institution. So while we're out here still fighting fees must fall, in Germany, it's tuition-free. But of course, we know as a student, there are other expenses that you incur outside of tuition. Now, you need accommodation. If you're coming from Mpumalanga, for example, and you're studying here at TUT, you need to travel from Mpumalanga to here. So you need to consider those costs, and you need to see where you're going to stay, what are you going to eat. So it's the same for if you want to go study in Germany. You need to consider your flight costs. As an international student, you also need to consider that you need a visa, so a student visa to apply. And our office is just an information center, so we share information. And we tell you all these things that you need to get in place for you to study in Germany. So the actual visa application happens at the German embassy. So our office does not administer any applications. So we don't administer applications for visas. We don't administer applications for study programs, any of the scholarships as well. So it will depend on the scholarship program that you're interested in. It will have information in there, who you're going to contact if you want to apply for that specific one, what the application process is for that specific scholarship program that you're interested in. And if you maybe can't find that information, you can contact our office and we can guide you along, but we don't actually get involved in the application processes per se, but we can give you the information and the links and everything. So the value of our scholarship, the monthly stipend. So I said there's no tuition fee, but I spoke about the living allowance that you would need to consider. So the DAAD scholarships offer a living allowance as a stipend. So that varies depending on which level you're at. So whether you're a master's student or if you're a PhD candidate, it will vary. And it will also vary depending on the scholarship program itself. So the monthly stipend varies between 861 and 2,150 euros. So it can be anything in between them. And if you're not going to apply for a scholarship and you want to pursue your studies there, that's also like a guideline that you can use, that the minimum amount that you need to budget for is at least 861 euros per month to stay in Germany. So yeah, so with the DAAD scholarship, you get that monthly stipend. You get your travel allowance, so that would be for your flight to Germany. For the duration of your stay while you're studying in Germany, they're also paying for your health insurance. And then the scholarships in Germany, like I said, they don't really look at your academic age. So it's not exclusionary in that way, that there's a limit to how old a person needs to be to apply for a scholarship. The only limitation with age comes with the degree or the qualification with which you're applying. So if you're applying for your master's scholarship program, the degree, your undergraduate degree should not be older than 6 years. So the qualification with which you're applying must not be older than 6 years. So if you're applying for a PhD program, it means your master program must not be older than 6 years. Yeah, so it's like that for all the programs. So it might be that someone is 50 years old, they just completed their master's program in 2020, and they apply now for the scholarship and they might get it. So the age does not limit it. And someone that is now 30 years old and maybe did their undergrad in 2012, for example, they want to apply for their master, then won't be able to, because we look at the qualification, not the age of the person. But it's slightly different for the NRF DAAD scholarship program that I'm going to speak about a bit later. Yeah, so that would be the only limitation for our scholarships. And if you want to pursue your master's in Germany, we've got a DAAD scholarships that are available. And we've got one, it's the EPOS program. We have the Helmut Schmidt program. Both of these, the call for application is currently out. So if you're interested, I'm sure in the marketing material we've got information on these. So the EPOS program is, okay, so with both the EPOS and the Helmut Schmidt, so if you want to do a master and you want funding from the DAAD, you need to look through our pre-selected study programs. And I see our jury is back. So I'm just going to quickly run through the stuff and tell you which calls of applications are still there. maybe another 10 minutes to finish. Okay, so then with the master's programs, you don't select your own program and then apply for the DAAD scholarship. You look through our brochures and you see which scholarship, which study programs are available. So there are pre-selected master's programs. And these pre-selected master's programs are linked to an institution. So it will, for example, say you're going to do a master in international education management and at Ludwig's University. So then it's lots. So in that EPOS program, there's more than 30 study programs that are in there, and they're all from different fields. So you'll see even in our material that it's grouped according to the different faculties as well. So it's not just them. There's things from economic and management sciences, there's media studies, so it's quite a broad range that's covered with the study programs that are in there. The only thing is you have to find one from there. And then the Helmut Schmidt program, that is for people that maybe have studied law, public policy, governance, developmental studies, for example. So whereas the EPOS one is broader in terms of fields of study, this one is a bit more limited. And you will see with the study programs in there as well, it's about 7 or 8 to choose from. And with the EPOS thing, the only thing is you need at least 1 year of professional work experience. So not internship, not volunteer work, not the work, like part-time work that you were doing as a student. So you need, once you've completed your degree, in that same field, at least 1 year of post-qualification professional experience. But it's not always the case that it's 1 year. So you'd need to look at the one that you're interested in and look what the specific requirements are for them. And there's also contact details of the program coordinator. So you can contact them and they can discuss further details with you. But the calls for applications are currently out, and you can also see the information on our website. The Master Scholarships in Arts and Architecture, the application period or the deadlines vary, so you need to look on our website to see when the call is out. Then we also have opportunities for PhD candidates or PhD graduates and postdoc fellowships as well. Unfortunately, this year, they had to cut down on the budget that was allocated for short-term research stays. So for the rest of this year, they will not be awarding any more scholarships for short-term research stay. But I think it's great for you to know, to plan for next year. They had to reallocate the funds, because remember I said most of our funds come from the federal ministry. And so with the situation in Ukraine, they had to reallocate funds to help students that are in Ukraine and stuff like that, or that were impacted by the situation there. So that was why there was that reallocation. So, but in general, there are opportunities. For example, if you're studying at UJ and you're doing a PhD there, and you want to do part of your research in Germany, you can apply for a short-term research grant to go pursue your research and then come back. And also for academic staff, like lecturers, if you also want to do a research stay there, there's also opportunities. You can do your full PhD in Germany. There's a grant for that. The application deadline for a full PhD is the 15th of October each year. So fortunately, that one is still going to be offered. And the application period is going to open 6 weeks before the application deadline. So you can start looking maybe around September, early September, around there, then you should see the portal. Again, because I said you don't apply at us, there is a portal, the DAAD portal, where you're going to apply for the scholarships. And then, important, if you're going to do a short-term research stay, you need to find a supervisor that's going to host you in Germany. And when you're at that stage that you've decided you want to do it, you can contact the office and then we can guide you along as well. And then the master's scholarship program that we have in South Africa, the one that I was excited about, the one that I mentioned earlier, that you will see that it's tailor-made for South Africa, taking into consideration the agenda at the moment in the education, higher education, or carrying on with the debate that we're having with transformation agenda and redressing the injustice of our past. And you will see that with the NRF scholarship program, it is administered by the NRF. So if you apply, you go on the NRF website, and that's where you would apply, and they administer it. And with this one, 90% of the scholarships that are being offered, so it's 60 scholarships offered for masters, 60 scholarships for PhD students. And the nice thing about this one is that you can study in South Africa. Because like I said, I know us, we don't like to go out and travel and study somewhere else. So you can still study in South Africa, enroll at a university in South Africa for a master or PhD program. But the exciting thing is still you can go, you have an opportunity to apply for a research grant to go and pursue part of your research in Germany. So while you don't do the whole research or your whole study program in Germany, there's still that opportunity with this scholarship program to do part of your research in Germany. And yeah, so you get similar things. You get a living allowance, so a stipend each month for this, and your tuition, because in South Africa there's tuition payable for these study programs. Your tuition will also be paid. So you'll get your tuition paid and you get a living allowance with this NRF DAAD scholarship program. You study in South Africa, enrolled at a South African university with the opportunity to do your research in Germany. And they also have summer schools that they offer exclusively for DAAD scholarship holders that you would also have an opportunity to attend as a scholarship holder. We also, like I said, networking is very important. So we also, as the office in Johannesburg, host scholarship holders for normally like 3 days. And it's a scholarship holders conference that we host. And then we invite our current scholarship holders, and there's exciting workshops and seminars that they engage in. And they also, it's an opportunity for them to network as well, because networking is very important. So yeah, like I said, 90% of this the scholarship offering is allocated to Black students, and that is in line with the transformation efforts that the NRF has identified, or that as a country we've identified and the NRF is trying to implement as well. There's also an age limit because we're trying to empower young people in South Africa. So the age limit for the scholarship program is you need to be at most 32 years in the year which you apply. So you cannot be older than 32 years. Yes, but this is only this one because we're trying to this is only for the DAAD NRF scholarship. I warned you earlier that there's only one scholarship program that we have. And yes, this is to empower young people, encourage young people to pursue master's studies and PhD programs, because we don't have a lot of people or young people that pursue the academic route, academic profession to say. So it's also to encourage it, and I welcome it. And for the ones that are sort of not eligible to apply because of age, we've got other scholarship programs that we can, offer to you. And if you're interested in that, you can just contact our office as well. The call for application, by the way, for the NRF DAAD scholarship program is out. So if you know anyone that might be eligible to apply for this program, please let them know. The application deadline is the 8th of July. And then we've got another one, because the DAAD, like I said, we're big on internationalization. not only in Germany but abroad. And they also understand that we cannot speak in South Africa, we cannot speak about the internationalization of higher education without considering the Africanization of higher education. So that is why they're also encouraging mobility within our continent. So with the scholarship program, it's the in-region scholarship program. So that allows you as a South African to study within the sub-Saharan region. So you can apply for a study, again, it's pre-selected study programs that we have. So we've got universities in Kenya, there's universities also in West Africa that are part of the scholarship program, and it's mainly master and PhD programs. We've got a list that you can look through and choose the one that is closely related to what you want to study. So again, this is pre-selected study programs at predetermined institutions. So, because maybe you might be scared to travel all the way to Germany, maybe it's an idea to consider studying on the continent as well first, to get a feel of studying outside of our country. And, you know, I know it seems to us South Africans, if we don't travel, that everything is happening in South Africa, like why must I go somewhere in West Africa or in East Africa? But there's amazing things happening in those parts of the world too that we are not aware of because we're not exposed, right? So if you go there and you see, you will see for yourself. And you can be assured, if you're worried maybe about the quality of the institutions there or this qualification that I'm getting now in West Africa and East Africa, is it like, where am I going to work with it? These qualifications will be internationally recognized. So you can be assured that if the DAAD is associating themselves with those institutions, given the reputation that the DAAD enjoys, you can be assured that those institutions as well are of high quality. So you have nothing to worry about if you look at the study programs that we're offering or doubt the quality levels of it. They've been vetted by head office as well to be part of this program. For students that are here that are not South African, you can also apply for scholarship programs to study in South Africa. So the in-region scholarship programs that we have, it means as a South African, you're studying in another sub-Saharan African country. And it means for someone from Cameroon, someone from Nigeria, the in-region scholarship program, it means they can come and study in South Africa or in another country of their choice. So those that are not South African can come and study in South Africa. You can see the programs that are offered in South Africa, which institutions are linked with this in-region program as well. So these are the useful links. I will share the presentation with the participants because I'm sure they've got your email address, so we can also share this presentation so you don't need to take it down now. And again, these links are also in our marketing material. And if you want us to send you this presentation, we can gladly do that. You can just send us an email as well, and then we can send you the presentation as well. I'm not going to take any questions now because I see our jury is back with the big news of the day, but I'm going to be here after the announcements of the winners. So if you have any other questions, then you can come to me or you can send us an email. Our email address is daad@wits.ac.za. Our virtual consultations are free. You can come to WITS, to our office, but the only thing is you need to book to come to WITS, and you need to be sure that you're vaccinated. So they need proof of full vaccination to give you access to WITS campus. But virtually, we can meet virtually as well, and you can call us. If you would like us to come to your institution or, I don't know, anywhere else to come and do presentations, we're happy to come there to present the different opportunities. So thank you very much for your time. I'm going to hand over now to the program director to give us the big news of the day, and then we'll speak a bit later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khwenzi, right? Yes. Thank you so much for the very necessary information session from DAAD. Thank you to the DAAD team as well. Thank you very much. A round of applause once again to them, please. Of course, and now it's that session where, I mean, I can look at, they're looking at me, they're ready and eager to find out as to who the top 3 are and who's going with the big prize. Like I said earlier on, you're all winners, and you must always pat yourself in the back, the fact that you're here. And thank you once again to our jury for the tough work. And a round of applause to them, please. I'm gonna call now Miss Elizabeth, the chairperson for the jury, to as well as Dr. Hamilton and PD for the award ceremony. Okay, so they'll be presenting the winners for today. And I will allow Ms. Elizabeth maybe to say a word or two before we get on to the award ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Ladies and gents, good morning, everyone. Participants, is it morning or good day? Sorry. To our beloved participants, hello, hi, are we there? The excitement, you look very nervous. It was a very exciting task for us as the jury. But before we even get to the official announcement, just a few points, that we picked up as the jury. It's for your own information. Firstly, we'd like to applaud everybody that took the opportunity and signed up. It shows courage, it shows effort, it shows that you want to make a difference in everyone's life. A round of applause for them. Secondly, everyone sitting here is a winner, ladies and gents. It is just a matter of numbers. That's how we got to the winner. But every single one sitting here is a winner. Important things going forward when you go and pitch or present. Please remember that, yes, you are the subject matter expert, but when you give out the information, when you pitch, remember to pitch it in such a way that I can give you $1 million right now, kind of a situation. Make me understand, or make the audience understand within those few seconds what your business is, or what the problem and what is the solution. Straight to the point, Talk numbers as well, colleagues. Some of you guys be wondering, how much are we going to pay for that? Talk numbers to show us that all the efforts went into your business modeling. So I think the important thing again as well is when you pitch your idea, colleagues, look at issues of sustainability. How sustainable is that idea in a long run? Is it something that's going to take 10 years? Still the solution? Is it the solution that will last for 10 years, 20 years? Or is it a solution for just a month and it is gone? So those are other important factors that you need to consider in your pitch. So I hope that will help you in future. And then before we also conclude, Dr. Mpedi, 2 of my panel jury members, I'd like to also just ask Michael Stark, just to also give you a bit of feedback. He's the 2021 participant who went all the way, got into the flight with a passport, went and presented. And after Michael, also just Mr. Brian Papela, just to also give a few pointers and the support. As a jury, we also felt that, there's additional support that we would like to give. But I would first like to give Michael, please, if you can just give them a few pointers quickly of what was your journey with the 2021.
Well, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Michael. So I applied for the Falling Walls Lab Cape Town 2021, where I was breaking the wall of viral zoonosis in animal farming, and my whole idea was regarding edible vaccines and how they can be implemented into the agriculture sector to prevent zoonotic viruses jumping from what's called factory farms or intensive animal farming. So I ended up winning that competition, and from there I flew off to Berlin, as was mentioned, and it was absolutely the best experience of my life. I networked with multiple businessmen, academics, millionaires as well. There were so many different types of people there. Like, just for example, the ticket just to the Falling Walls Science Summit is 45,000 Rand. So you get that free of charge, everything for you. Everyone there was so nice, and it was just such a great networking forum. Even though I didn't win the main competition, nonetheless, it was absolutely amazing. The connections I made, for example, I've been offered to go to Harvard just from going there. It's been really great from what I've learned in terms of an investment standpoint, and just in terms of also just making good friends as well. As you know, if you do win, you will be going straight to Berlin with 75 other people from all around the world, from Mexico to Brazil to Senegal to Nigeria, wherever it might be. So it's a really great opportunity, and I'm sure you guys are whoever wins is gonna have a really great time there as well. And if you do need any advice in terms of like visas and what to do from there and who to speak to, just let me know. I do know the whole process, but I'm sure the DAAD will help you with that as well. But yeah, whoever wins, well done to you, and I'm sure you guys are going to have an amazing time there. And yeah, just keep your head up. If you don't win, you guys all are winners at the end of the day, like they mentioned, and you all have your ideas will make a big difference in society. So thank you for that, guys.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brian. It's a quick one from him as well, in terms of the type of support that he's going to offer to whoever won.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So mine is very brief. In my regular 9-to-5 job, I'm responsible for the full investment life cycle of innovation investments. So we do deal sourcing. We go to some deals, others come to us. We do deal structuring. How are you going to invest when we like the innovation? And ultimately, we do disposals and exits. Now, to do this and do it sustainably across sectors, we've needed to find the algorithm that allows us to pitch properly, to pick the interest of those that we need the most. It could be investors, our clients, our partners, and it's centered, the algorithm is centered around what we call the NABC acronym. So the N in the NABC is the need. What is the need for which there's no solution? You can't speak about that need unless you specify who has it and how big is it. Having done that, one needs to illuminate on what is the unique approach which is going to be adopted in addressing the need as identified. And this is where innovation is relevant, because that's where you start and say, this is what makes my solution different, better, faster, cheaper, and what have you. Having done that, it will be incomplete if there are no unique benefits that flow out of your unique approach. And lastly, it's important not to be naive and actually be very open with what alternatives are out there. So this is the C part of the NABC, competition. What else would the people that I'm trying to help have access to solve their problems? So I'm willing to invest some time with top 3 and help you guys prepare for future pitches, even beyond the German trip. Help you guys to wrap your minds around how to package your innovations and to make them sellable. With these few words, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Brian. Thanks for that offer. You see, go places, stand up, and you shall get opportunities, right? So thank you, everybody, for coming. I think it's that time now, Dr. Mpidi.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The moment of truth has come. So I'm told that the jury has reached its verdict. So as they do in the West, I'm going to ask the jury, was this a unanimous decision? Okay, the jury said this was a unanimous decision. So I'm going to ask if there is a DAAD representative here. There will be obviously a photo shoot for the, when we give the award ceremony. And can I ask Dr. Rasalika maybe if you can just join so we congratulate our winners. So without wasting time, we will start announcing the winners. And we will start with the Elizabeth number 3. Can we have the drum rolls? Drum rolls. Number 3, Kathleen Boshoff, breaking the walls of brain fog. I'm told she's not here, so someone will receive the awards, and yeah. So you can have a photo and the judge. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Now for the runner-up, the second prize. Can we have the drum rolls, please? By the way, I must say that, let me just before I move say that she's from the University of Pretoria. So the University of Pretoria, so let's recognize the institution. Yes, UP, our neighbor. Now, for the second prize, it goes to none other than Shadrach Amani from the Tshwane University of Technology. Shine, Tutu. Shine, Tutu. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, now for the winner who will represent South Africa in Germany in November. This guy will fly. How many hours to Germany? And are you going to land in Munich or in Frankfurt or Berlin? Exciting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our winner for the Falling Walls Lab Pretoria 2022 goes to Tamli Sasha Naidu from the University of Witwatersrand, from Wits University. Wow, give it a round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the award ceremony. On behalf of our partners, our partners as a host institution STUT, we're very proud to host this Falling Walls Lab. I was telling my colleagues from the city of Tshwane that these events are hosted all over the world. And on Monday, we had an opportunity to attend the Falling Walls Labs from other countries, from China, to Europe, and we're excited that Eden, is it ours the first or there's been the third? Most of them are going to be in September. So thank you from the director. Congratulations to the winner, and hard luck to the runner-ups.
We would like to give a special thank you to our jury. I'm going to ask you all to please come downstairs again. Apologies, Elizabeth, that you went up again. We have a small gift on behalf of the DAAD and on behalf of the German Embassy based here in Pretoria, for your recognition of taking the time to, give the opportunity to these young innovators. And yes, these are just a small recognition from us on behalf of yourselves. I'm going to... We have certificates for you as well, because you're never too old for a certificate. And a small gift on that side. We will also ask the participants in a second. We have a small gift for the rest of you. And then we would like to take photos with everybody before you all leave. He doesn't bite.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3. And last one. Ah, didn't flash. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Thank you so much.
And then, of course, for our participants, thank you for coming out today, making this all possible.
You're always ready, eh? Always, my man. You were born ready, my man. One more?
Yes, one more, the funny one.
Thank you.
They are going for Germany. Good. Thanks.
It's a group one.
Do you want a group one? Okay, let's get the group in.
I thought we would take the whole day.
Yeah.
I cannot disappear in. You know my name?
Armand.
Armando. The Spanish man. The captain is there. You can leave when you fall.
Thank you. Sorry guys, can I just take this photo? If you don't mind? Thank you. Right, I don't have everyone in view. Sorry. You? Yeah? What do you mean? Okay. So you want me to be from here? No, from here.
You stand there, we go on top.
Oh, you go on top. Okay. Okay.
No, the banners.
The banner can shift, and then maybe people kneel. Who wants to kneel? Nobody.
Whoever wants to kneel.
Yeah. And then you can shift the banner.
The captain is with the winner.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Another one.
Yeah.
Last one.
Captain, steer the ship.
One more. Didn't flash. There we go. Thank you.
I cannot worry. I'm going to Germany. Don't worry.
Thank you very much. And again, a round of applause to all of you, the jury, the winners, the participants, and everyone that supported this wonderful event. We've learned a lot. great ideas that, that we have amongst us. And thank you once again, Dr. Mpidi. And I'm going to call upon a very progressive woman in our midst. She's the director at the Directorate of Research and Innovation. Is she ready? I said progressive. A round of applause for Dr. Rita Rasuleka.
Yeah, thank you. Colleagues, good afternoon. I feel like the innovators today. I have learned a lot, colleagues, and thank you very much for sharing with us your knowledge. I want to say that whichever university has not hosted Falling Labs, take it from us. You will be either number 1 or number 2. We did it. We are number 2 because we said we are going to co-host with DAAD this event. When Khunzi was here last year telling us about funding opportunities, she mentioned slightly Falling Labs. And I was like, what? Let's talk about it. And she said it's about innovators. We know about FameLab. I'm sure you also know about FameLab, right? Yes. We know, the researchers know a lot about FameLab. And it was for the first time we heard about Falling Labs. And I said to Khunzi, we will co-host. And I want to thank DAAD for taking us serious and listening to us and trusting us that we can also host as TUT an event of this magnitude, colleagues, that actually is not about only TUT students, but all of us South African students. And for us to produce a VET winner of FameLab, I'm sure FameLab DAAD will want to come back here and produce their own as winners who will go to Berlin. Colleagues, they have said we are all winners, and I also agree. We are all winners. There were opportunities for us to go to Germany. It's not just about Falling Walls to go to Berlin. You can still go to Berlin. And it all started with Falling Labs. So always take this with you. Going back home, you will also be awarded an opportunity to be in Germany whenever you want. Pursue your qualification, your degrees, take an opportunity. There are contacts there. Please make use of those and spread the word. The nicest thing about these things is that it's not just for our own benefit. It's also for those at home who don't have access to these benefits. So let's spread the word, take the message back home, and get as many of us involved and empowered. We have done it again, TUT, empowering people, as it is our name, colleagues, and as it is our main pillar that is preparing future-ready graduates that makes knowledge work. Go and make knowledge work even if you are not from TUT. That pillar of us will continue to build nations everywhere, even from other institutions. I am not going to talk too much about the event today. Thank you very much, colleagues, who made it possible. Our innovators continue. You are connected. The main point about this event was connecting aspiring innovators. You are aspired, you are connected. Just go and make use of those connections for betterment of our country. I want to also thank the jury, members of the jury, for coming to TUT and honoring us and making sure that we identify that innovator who will go to Berlin and represent all of us. Colleagues, we are behind you. Please go and shine and take it also from there and move to the next level. Those who are, that you will be developed. You heard there are opportunities to continue being developed by other people who were part of this event. I think I am done. I would like to thank my colleague, Dr. Mpidi, who when I came back to the directorate with, there is Falling Labs, Dr. Mpidi. I put our name forward. Let's do it. find somebody to employ you. We see in you employers of tomorrow. So we are grateful that we hosted this year the third Falling Labs event, an international event, with all of you who have participated. I wanted to share some stats, those who are not aware. Dr. Mpidi told me that we received 34 applications for this event. It is quite a good response, colleagues. And out of that, 14 of you were here. When we initially discussed, we were not sure if it's going to be a hybrid, because we are talking about COVID responses, or it's going to be a face-to-face, but God listened that it is going to be a face-to-face, and we enjoyed being with you all here, face-to-face, coming from all corners of South Africa, colleagues. And we also are very happy that one of the top 3 is from our institution. So I also want to take this opportunity in closing, colleagues, to thank our Deputy Vice-Chancellor for making time. You've heard she's not around, but she managed to make time to welcome all of us and to wish us all the best. Our innovators for raising your hands and participate in this. DAAD for sponsoring the event. Eden, you were the second to come after Khunzi. You saw Khunzi, ne? She was like, she didn't want to talk, but when she's here, she just went on, and that's what she did, and that's why she landed us into this program, because she just continued talking, even after the formal session was over. The reason why they were here, but this is the reason why you are here. It's Khunzi who brought you here. So the jury, thank you very much. Our organizers and all participants of today, we are grateful. And what a way of concluding this event, colleagues. I'm not going to mention every presentation that was made, but the last one, the disinfection, COVID, the robot. How does it end like that? I mean, we were two years ago, confined in our own spaces, could not go anywhere. And then there is now a robot that can disinfect our places. I am interested in that. I have to speak to the inventor. And we can all possibly just buy into that and make sure that we don't stop working because of things like COVID, that we continue working. Thank you so much, colleagues. And I wish you all the best. I was told that there is lunch. You can use the doors at the back. It's served at the back. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rasilika. Round of applause to our progressive director. Yes. Thank you. Like she said, lunch will be served at the back foyer, so we can just go to the back for that. I think we're done, Dr. Mpidi. Thank you so much, and travel safely to all your, residences, or, all over the country, I'm told. Okay? Others are from the coast, others are from Joburg, we are here, others Limpopo, but thank you so much for your time and your presence here at the Tshwane University of Technology. It's a beautiful university. Thank you.
Just have this, I know third place isn't here, but our second and first place, because we just have you for one last photo, and then also the TUT team, we would like to have a photo with you.
Okay. Thank you.